This is the second battle between Blademaster and something Jizz in the North American Flash tournament. He is commanding the Alamans. His opponent is commanding the Alamans. And let's just pause it to have a look at their armies here. Forested map. And we have, let's see, Alani Horseman. He usually deploys symmetrical, so let's see if he does that now. Two Alani Horsemen, Alani General, Noble Alani, 4 of those. Then he has the Summation Mounted Skirmishers, 2 of those, good choice. Then he has a mix of Elite Gothrazai and Gothrazai. For Germanic Archers, fairly obvious. And for the Alamans, we have Protectores, Defectores, Bejeweled Nobles. For Cavalry, we have 4 Germanic Lancers, 2 Noble Germanics, and 3 so very similar to the previous army that he used, but this time he has some Pikes, and he also has some Knuremars Raiders here. And these deserve a special mention because they have a rapid advance, and with the speed of 70, they're 100 missile damage and 13 ammo. They can bait enemy cavalry and then rush away using rapid advance, even though they're heavy. And they can also hold their own in melee. Being heavy, they do a lot of damage to infantry units. So this is a very viable choice now, especially if there are unit number restrictions in place, and it looks like there are. There's a maximum of 4 of each unit type here. Or am I counting 5 Protectores? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So maybe not. Maybe just for cavalry, or maybe there was one too many Protectore I brought. Not really sure. Knodemars, Raiders moving up here. The Alani Horsemen are hidden, but let's see if the Knodemars are able to scout them out. If they do, they could do a lot of damage. So 2 Knodemars Raiders, very dangerous units. Very expensive too, so they need to be used well in order to be effective. Both players here being a bit wary and scouting out. It's always nice to scout on these forest maps. Going very, very wide here. Blademaster is concentrating in the forest, while the Alamans are going wide. Probably wanting to scout out here to see if there's any hidden skirmish cavalry around. Could be very annoying once the main engagement starts. The Germanic Archers are able to fire here at these Germanic Hurlers. Not the best target. Some fire also hitting the Alani Horse, but the Alani Horse are at least hidden, getting a reduction in the projectiles that hit them due to being here in the shrubbery. Germanic Hurlers being pushed far ahead. But skirmishing into the forest is not really going to be too effective, and you can see the Germanic Hurlers are dropping quite rapidly here. Firing on the Germanic Pikes might be a better option at this point.
Keep it up, man! Keep it up!
The color scheme of these Germanic Pikes is jarring to the eyes, to say the least. This Alani Horseman is in a bit of a dangerous spot now, because it doesn't have infantry support. So it can't really rush out and take advantage of its hidden status. But it's going to do it anyway. But having the Germanic Pikes there was a very smart move, because now the hidden Alani Horsemen just have to run away. Germanic Archers firing out of the forest. The Germanic Hurlers are off the field. This Germanic Hurler also off the field, not managing to do much. Nicely supported here. The Alamans supported these engagements nicely and forced Blademaster to retreat and lose 2 of his units, while not really losing anything other than ammunition. Here the Knodomars raiders are taking a few flaming arrows. And you can see the forest burning here, and this is not actually going to damage the units in the forest, but losing a lot of Knodomars raiders here. But it's not going to actually damage the units in the forest, but some ammunition types on certain siege units, they will have a bonus. They will have a bonus in flammable areas, so you might see them do more area of effect damage. But that doesn't apply to arrows and such, it doesn't apply to the burning of the trees itself. It's more of a ground effect, and you'll be able to see it when it happens. Germanic hurlers getting some nice kills in here. Protectores pushing up, very tanky units. 60 armor, 147 health. They will die to cavalry very easily, but in blobs they can do a good job. Moving up towards the forest here. Blademaster still has a lot of units concealed.
The unit is running from the enemy!
These Germanic archers are focusing on Noble Germanic Horse and taking down very important hit points, or taking away very important hit points from them. The Alamans now just circling the Alans. The Alans hogging the forest and having a very compact formation here, while the Alamans are going wide and surrounding. Cavalry is a bit far behind though. But I mean, there are 3 lines here, so it's not going to be easy to break through and do anything about that. Cheap Alani horse being sent up, down the center. Germanic hurlers pull away. Barely touching the Germanic hurlers there, killing 2 of them, but taking slinger fire, making them slower on the retreats. Also taking flaming shots, and the Alani horsemen lost a few of their number there. Let's see if it pays off here, staying in the forest. Being as concentrated as this means that on one hand the forest provides cover, but on the other hand a lot of incidental fire is being caused to these units that are clumped up here. So it isn't showing in terms of men lost here, so just a bit of hit point damage done. Here we have Knodomars running a bit back and forth with the Summation mounted. Both players are really taking their time with skirmish here. The Germanic hurlers are getting nice kills. The Germanic archers not really getting great kills here, but now they're firing at cavalry, which is a good idea. Germanic hurlers rushing into the forest here, and they will be able to see a lot of Blademaster's units now. Being very smart again, pushing up the pikes. The pikes are taking precursor fire, which, I mean, expending ammunition from units and blocking is one of the more useful things you can do with your pikes. And firing at Protectores isn't going to do much, but firing at these Germanic Lancers is going to take down their numbers in a few volleys. A Gothorsai in the forest, that's a good hiding place for them, both to reduce the impact of cavalry and to reduce the impact of skirmishers, but at some point they need to start engaging. Although there isn't a lot of ammunition left now but 75 kills on Germanic archers, that's not bad, but most of these kills are hurler kills and Germanic archer kills over here. Blademaster pushing up his noble Alani now, but they're taking a lot of fire on the way out, getting slowed down by hurler fire. They are charging the Germanic hurlers. And the Germanic lancers also taking flaming fire here. Unit of Protectores being brought up. Once again charging the Germanic hurlers, picking them apart. Charge after charge. The Germanic pikes are out of position, so they're not going to be able to do much here against the noble Alani. Can be, if you have the opportunity like Blademaster did here, it can be a good thing to remove annoying units like Germanic hurlers so they aren't able to block the important charges. Knodomors running around the side here with some support from noble Germanics. Here come the Alani horsemen, and the Alani horsemen could take substantial casualties from Knodomors here. Yep, you can see them dropping, and here comes the noble Germanic horse, so this Alani horse, being unsupported, is pretty much dead here. In the center though, things are happening. We have Germanic Lancers crashing into Elite Gothrsai, being hit in the side by Noble Alani, but the Noble Alani has taken a lot of casualties here. Protectores moving into the blob. So good charge by the Germanic Lancers there, and the Noble Alani cavalry manages to hit the Noble Germanics. The Noble Germanics are going to be dead. But the support here for the Alamans is worryingly close. Summation mounted, running away from the Knodomor's entourage and these noble Germanics. Good charge here by the Alani horsemen, tying down several units. This could be a delicious blob to fire into or charge shock cavalry into. The Protectores just destroying what's left here. Germanic Lancers are going to do a lot of damage to the noble Alani cavalry on the charge. The Knodomor's raiders firing here, and not a huge amount of casualties caused by them, but certainly a nice amount.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful
And the Germanic
display.
Lancers are smashing into Elite Gothrsai. Noble Germanic horse manages to get away, and the cavalry of Blademaster is being picked apart now. We have Alani General fighting the Knodomor's raiders, and getting a good charge with the Alani General here against the raiders. Also fighting Germanic Lancers with Noble Alani, so the Noble Alani is going to be able to tank this one out. But how Blademaster is going to be able to kill the remaining infantry of the Alamans is beyond me. In the forest here we have a few Germanic Lancers running into Germanic archers. And they are taking a significant amount of fire. The forest shielding them somewhat. Knodomor's raiders here being attacked. Summation mounted skirmishers haven't done a whole lot yet. They could be very useful in sniping cavalry units this late in the battle. Germanic Lancers here being fired upon by the Summation mounted. But the Alamanic infantry is still holding strong. They are a nightmare to fight with units like... If the Gothrsai don't get good charges off, the Protectores will do a number on them. And now Knodomors getting destroyed here by the combined assault of both Noble Alani and the Alani General. The Alani General turns around and charges straight into the Bejeweled Nobles. And if these Noble Alani cavalry manage to swing around, a lot of Bejeweled Nobles are going to fall, but it doesn't look like they have quite the time to do the damage they need, because there is support incoming here. We have the Knodomor's entourage rushing in, and it looks like this is it for the Alani General. He's going to get smashed here and drop very, very quickly from the... Yeah, he's going to die so fast from all of these units hammering him. There's Summation mounted, getting some kills now, but not very important kills, I'm afraid.
The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
So yeah, the Alani General is dead, and at this point, not much Blademaster can do. He was summarily picked apart by the Alamans here. And this is a unusual map in that it has all of these forested areas where you're not really
Our men
sure.
enemy units have
It's
rallied
easy
and
to plan a
returned to the
battle when you can see your opponent's units, but it's not that easy when you have to prepare for eventualities that may not arise.
Enemy forces have struck. The battle is no longer in our favor.
So valiant defeat there by Blademaster and the Alamans. And you can see his infantry didn't perform, his skirmishers didn't perform. Some of his cavalry does a very good job, but overall the sturdier infantry of the Alamans carried the day. And although Blademaster's cavalry overall did a better job, I mean these Schnodemas raiders, they're not even close to paying for themselves. Then the skirmishers here of the Alamans, I believe, tipped the balance in favor of the Alamans, and the Alamans and RDDG Jiz managed to support his different components better than what Blademaster did by hiding in the forest. And Blademaster had a difficult time, I think, finding a way to engage because of the layered approach of the Alamans. It would be difficult for Blademaster to send in his infantry, because all of these very sturdy infantry units are going to take a while to kill. And if he would have sent in his I mean, if he would have been able to send in his cavalry and then support with these Gothar, he could absolutely do it, but it would have been slightly difficult. I have to say, I would have felt more slightly more confident using the Alaman army here than the Alan army. The Alaman army is the sturdier one, and even though he has let's see, he has 4 noble Alani cavalry in this army and 2 Alani horsemen, very strong, then the additional shock cavalry here and essentially having 4 good melee cavalry units and 2 hybrid units for the Alamans, I think I would have felt slightly more confident bringing that to the battlefield. But anyway, good game to both players. Thanks to Blademaster for sending me these replays. Now, if you want to send me some replays, please do. My mail address is in the about section of my channel, and send me a battle and I'll have a look and most likely upload it. Strength and honor.